Welcome to Trout Towns, the show where I take you to some of the best towns across America for trout fishing. Each episode, we'll travel to a new town to fish two specific trout streams, from freestone to limestone to tailwater and everything in between. We'll also highlight some of the great American history as well as architecture illustrated by the towns which we visit. All that and more today on Trout Towns. On this episode of Trout Towns, we're in Frederick, Maryland, your home base to visit some of the excellent freestone streams emanating from the Catoctin Mountains and less than an hour away from one of Maryland's finest tailwater fisheries. Our first stop on this trip will be to the Catoctin Mountains, well known as the home of Camp David, but also historically significant Big Hunting Creek, as well as lesser-known Catoctin freestone streams. We'll then explore a relatively large, fertile, and altogether rugged tailwater fishery known as the Gunpowder River. With a population of naturally reproducing wild brown trout and abundant public access, this stream, along with its tributaries, are a must-visit fly fishing stream in the mid-Atlantic. While in town, we'll explore Frederick's rich historical past, with significant contributions to the colonial, Civil War, and late 19th century periods. Frederick was at the intersection of national roads, canals, and railroads during the great building of the American Republic. We'll also highlight some of Frederick's well-preserved and expansive historic architecture, with styles ranging from colonial revival and Gothic to Richardsonian Romanesque and Queen Anne. This town is definitely worth a stop for the Great American Walking Tour. Please join me today as we fish, explore, and embrace our very next trout town in Frederick, Maryland. The city of Frederick is the county seat of Frederick County, Maryland, located at an important crossroads at the intersection of a major north-south Native American trail and east-west routes to the Chesapeake Bay, both at Baltimore and what became Washington, D.C., and across the Appalachian Mountains to the Ohio River watershed. In the colonial era, the earliest European settlement was by Daniel Delaney, a land speculator who laid out what was initially called Fredericktown in 1745. Sources disagree as to which Frederick the town was named for, but the likeliest candidates are Frederick Calvert, 6th Baron Baltimore, one of the proprietors of Maryland, Frederick Lewis, Prince of Wales, or Frederick the Great, King of Prussia. In 1748, Frederick County was formed by carving a section off of Prince George's County. The current town's first house was built in 1756 by a young German Reformed schoolmaster from the Rhineland named Johann Thomas Schley, and is now the Schiffersted Architectural Museum. Schley's group was among the many Pennsylvania Dutch who were ethnic Germans who migrated south and westward in the late 18th century. In addition, there were also Scots-Irish, French, and also Irish. Frederick was an important stop along the migration route that later became known as the Great Wagon Road, which came down from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania and Emmitsburg, Maryland, and continued south following the Great Appalachian Valley through Winchester and Roanoke, Virginia. British General Edward Braddock marched his troops, including the youthful George Washington, west in 1755 through Frederick on the way to their fateful ambush near Fort Duquesne, later Fort Pitt, and then Pittsburgh during the French and Indian War. The British, after the proclamation of 1763, restricted the westward migration routes until the end of the American Revolutionary War. Other westward migrants continued south from Frederick to Roanoke along the Great Wagon Road, crossing the Appalachians into Kentucky and Tennessee at the Cumberland Gap near the Virginia and North Carolina border. To control the crossroads of Frederick during the American Revolutionary War, the British garrisoned a German Hessian regiment in town. In the early 19th century, as the county seat for Western Maryland, Frederick not only was an important market town, but also the seat of justice, with its county courthouse. Frederick was also well known during the 19th century for its religious pluralism, with one of its main thoroughfares, Church Street, hosting about a half dozen major churches, including Episcopal, Catholic, Lutheran, Methodist, and many others. Together, these churches dominated the town's skyline, set against the backdrop of the first ridge of the Appalachian Mountains at Catoctin Mountain. When U.S. President Thomas Jefferson commissioned the National Road from Baltimore to St. Louis, the National Pike ran through Frederick along Patrick Street, and it later became U.S. Route 40. Frederick also became one of the new nation's leading mining counties in the early 19th century. It exported gold, copper, limestone, marble, iron, and other minerals. As early as the American Revolution, Catoctin Furnace near Thurmont became an important source of iron production. Frederick also had easy access to the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal, which began operations in 1831 and continued hauling freight until 1924. Also, in 1831, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad completed its Frederick branch line from the Frederick Junction off the main western line from Baltimore to Harper's Ferry, Cumberland, and the Ohio River. The railroad reached Chicago and St. Louis by the 1850s. During the Civil War period, Frederick became Maryland's capital city briefly in 1861, as the legislature moved from Annapolis to vote on the secession question. President Lincoln arrested several members, and the assembly was unable to convene a quorum to vote on secession. As a major crossroads, Frederick saw considerable action during the American Civil War. During the Maryland campaigns, both Union and Confederate troops marched through the city. Frederick also hosted several hospitals to nurse the wounded from those battles, as is related in the National Museum of Civil War Medicine on East Patrick Street. President Abraham Lincoln, on his way to visit General George McClellan after the Battle of South Mountain and the Battle of Antietam, delivered a short speech at what was then the B&O Railroad Depot at the current intersection of East, All Saints, and South Market Streets. In July 1864, in the Third Southern Invasion, Confederate troops led by Lieutenant General Jubal Early occupied Frederick and extorted $200,000 from citizens for not raising the city on their way to Washington, D.C. Union troops under Major General Lew Wallace fought a successful delaying action in what became the last significant Confederate advance at the Battle of Monocacy, also known as the battle that saved Washington. Contemporarily, Frederick's relative proximity to Washington, D.C. has always been an important factor in the development of its local economy, along with the presence of Fort Detrick, its largest employer. Frederick is the home of the Riverside Research Park, a large biomedical research park located on Frederick's east side. Tenants include the relocated main offices of the National Cancer Institute, Frederick's National Laboratory for Cancer Research, as well as the Charles River Labs. As a result of the continued and enhanced federal government investment, the Frederick area will likely maintain a continued growth pattern over the next few decades. Also, the Frederick Historic District in the city's downtown houses more than 200 retailers, restaurants, and antique shops along Market, Patrick, and East Street. In addition to the downtown historic core, Frederick is near many outdoor recreation opportunities like the National Park Service property Catoctin Mountain Park or the state park known as Cunningham Falls. Now, with that brief history provided, let's go give Big Hunting Creek and the Catoctin Mountains the old college try. Alright, so just 20 minutes north of historic downtown Frederick, we are surrounded by public land, specifically Catoctin Mountain Park and the adjacent Cunningham Falls State Park. One's a National Park Service property, the other is a state park property owned by Maryland. Anyways, we're looking at Big Hunting Creek. This is a historically significant fly fishing only stream in, I guess you would call this, north central Maryland. Right now, with the flows we have due to some recent snow melt and rain, the flows are really good. I mean, it's a little bit high, a little bit off color, but I think for nymphing today, it's going to be really great. We're going to start out nymphing with some copper johns, maybe some woolly buggers. If the activity on the surface picks up, if I see some fish rising, obviously we'll switch to, I don't know, maybe some midges, BWOs, stoneflies, whatever it is. We're going to try a little bit of that. But anyways, we are out here very close to Frederick. Near Camp David also, the presidential retreat. I assume we're primarily going to be catching some small to medium-sized wild browns. Just saw a hatching insect. That's wonderful. So anyways, let's get out here, let's get after it, and let's see what happens. Alright, so we just got our first wild brown here on the Big Hunting Creek. Just a little guy. Not a lot of big sizes around here, but that's okay. Let's quick take a look at him. Wet my hands. Wet my hands. Hold on, bud. Hold on. Nice little 4-inch wild brown. Let's, hold on. Let's get him right out of here. Get out of here, bud. Get out of here.
if we can get him in the net. Ooh. All right, so in this big pool, we got a nice little wild brown. So let's get the hook out of him, take a look at him. All right, so we just got a beautiful little wild brown right here. Let's take a look at him. Very small guy, probably about 4 or 5 inches, nothing crazy. Beautiful little fish. Beautiful little fish. Let's get him right out of here. Let's get him out of here. Just got one. Not bad, another like 5-6 incher. See if we can get him over here. Hit a large stonefly nymph, which is pretty cool. Got him. All right, let's get the hook out of him, take a look at him. All right, so we just got another cookie cutter, probably 5-6 inch, probably 4 or 5 inch. Wild brown, beautiful colors, as always on these fish. Beautiful reds, beautiful reds. Let's get them right out of here. Get out of here, bud. Also, for the first time today, and it's only about 12:30 p.m. obviously, I did see a fish rise, so that's good to see. We're gonna stick with the nymph maybe for, you know, another half an hour. We just obviously got a bite, but if I keep seeing more fish rise, we will definitely switch to dry. So let's keep rolling. All right, so we left Big Hunting Creek behind, caught a couple fish. It's always a tough place to fish, in my opinion. Anyways, we just got out to another smaller stream in the Catoctin Mountains, just a couple miles away from Big Hunting Creek. So we're gonna work our way up into the park, fly fish, hopefully for some wild browns, and we'll see what happens. All right, so after unsuccessfully nymphing this little Catoctin Mountains beautiful freestone stream, I did just see for the very first time today a few fish rise right in this corner pocket over here, this beautiful little plunge pool. So we're gonna tie on a dry and see if we can get on some rising fish, which is not very common for this time of year. So let's get out here and see what happens. Oh, got him. Got him. Got him. Nice little wild brown. Nice little wild brown. Hit a kind of like a midge looking little black fly. That's pretty sick. Let's see if we can get him over here. Got him. All right, so first cast with the dry, got a nice little wild brown. Or let's get the hook at him, take a look at him. All right, so we got a gorgeous little, probably 6-7 inch wild brown. Really beautiful colors on this guy. Let's get him right out of here. Beautiful fish. See you later, bud. See you later. All right, so I think I got a fish under here. But he's like hooked, he's like stuck on something. It's hard to tell. Here we go. Oh, nope, missed him. Got him. All right, so nice little brownie. Hit a dry fly. Not really sure what kind of dry fly it is, honestly. Kind of looks like maybe like a Quill Gordon or something. Anyways, that's great. Smacked it. Let's get the hook at him, take a look at him. All right, let's get him right out of here. Let's get him out of here. Beaut, 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 beaut. Love seeing the different age classes. That's great. Get out of here, bud. Get out of here. Got one. This one feels okay. I mean, not big, but definitely okay. Definitely not big. Oh, that's okay. Probably a good 6-7 incher. Not bad. Not bad. He's fighting. He's fighting like a champ. Let's get him over here. Oh, Come on, bud. Come on, bud. Oh. All right, yeah, probably good 5-6 inch wild brown. Nothing crazy, but we'll certainly take it. So let's get the hook out of him, take a freaking look at him. All right, so we just got a nice dandy of a wild brown. Nothing crazy size-wise, probably 6-7 inches, but nicest one today on this stream. Oh, real nice. That's real nice. Get out of here, bud. Get the heck out of here. Woo! All right, so we had a wonderful couple of hours on this, not to be named. It's kind of like Voldemort. We're not going to name it. He who must not be named. Anyways, ooh, there's a bug. Anyways, yes, we had a nice couple of hours on this small Catoctin Mountains tributary stream. Caught I want to say 2, 3, 4 wild browns. Nothing crazy size-wise. I know there's some decent ones in here. Anyways, that's all we got from this stream. So let's head back to Frederick.
Wow. What a great day fly fishing in the Catoctin Mountains on Big Hunting Creek and some of its tributaries. Now, let's head back to Frederick to check out some of the architecture. The Frederick Historic District is a National Historic District in Frederick, Maryland, obviously. The district encompasses the core of the city and contains a variety of residential, commercial, religious, and industrial buildings dating back from the late 18th century to the mid-20th century. Well known for its historic churches, these churches reflect the high architectural styles ranging from Gothic and Greek Revival to Richardsonian Romanesque and Colonial Revival. With its vast array of brick buildings dating from the first half of the 19th century, this represents to varying degrees the influence of Federal and Greek Revival periods, and the buildings of this era dominate the city streetscape to today. This architectural presence from an approximate 50-year time period, roughly from 1810 to 1860, suggests that the city emerged as a prominent and prosperous inland market town during the first half of the 19th century. This prosperity is rooted in the rich agricultural land surrounding Frederick that produced record harvests of grain and other products, as well as significant amounts of iron ore to feed numerous furnaces and forges in the area. There are some notable religious, civic, commercial, and residential buildings, which we'd like to highlight for you. As far as religious buildings, here we have All Saints Episcopal Church. Across from City Hall, this 1855 Gothic Revival style religious building is just one of many impressive spires dominating Frederick's skyline. Next up, we have Frederick's Evangelical Lutheran Church, completed in 1854 as the most recent incarnation of older German-built log and stone churches. This Gothic Revival style church is quite striking. Also, here we have St. John's Evangelist Church. Built in 1837 with its tower added in 1857, this Roman Catholic Greek Revival style building has an incredibly clean and refined look. With respect to civic and governmental buildings, here we have Frederick City Hall. Built in 1862 in the Italianate style, this former Frederick County Courthouse is an excellent example of mid-19th century civic architecture. Next up, here we have the Masonic Temple, built in 1901 for Freemasons in the Frederick area. This urbanized classical revival style structure is an iconic and monumental mainstay on Church Street. Feast your eyes on this monumental historic gem in downtown Frederick, and that's Winchester Hall, with the left wing built in 1843 and the right wing built in 1850. This Greek Revival style former female seminary is an impressive piece of architecture. Next up is the Visitation Academy of Frederick. This all-brick 1846 former Roman Catholic all-girls school is quite large, quite impressive, and a very imposing structure. Lastly, we have one notable residential building, known as the Trail Mansion. This high-styled residential architectural gem was built in the Italianate style in 1854. Now, if you'll indulge me for just a few minutes, we're going to go on an architectural walking tour of Frederick, Maryland. And then, I promise, we'll get back to catching some nice trout.
so a little bit under an hour away from downtown historic Frederick, Maryland, we are on one of the top 100 trout streams according to Trout Unlimited, and that is the Gunpowder River. It's also known as the Big Gunpowder Falls River or the Gunpowder Falls River, but for the purposes of this Trout Towns episode, we're gonna go with the Gunpowder River. So this is a truly beautiful, really highly productive tailwater fishery. As you can see, a pretty good size. It is primarily wild brown trout, naturally reproducing, but they also do, in some of the lower stretches, stock some rainbow trout. So today, we're going to be fly fishing. As you can see, the flow is relatively high, relatively off color. But yeah, we're going to start by nymphing today, see if we can dredge up some nice wild brown trout here on the Gunpowder River, less than an hour away from Frederick, Maryland, top 100 trout stream. Really excited to get out here. I've been here about a dozen times before. We're probably 15 miles away from the southern Pennsylvania border. And this is, aside from maybe some of the western Maryland trout streams like the Savage River and the North Branch Potomac River, this is one of the best trout streams in all of Maryland. So anyways, enough talking. Let's get out here and see what happens. All right, so to start out today, I have my 8'6" fly rod, 4-weight. I have on a relatively large-sized black woolly bugger, only about 10 feet of leader and tippet, because the water is so off color. I can't imagine that they're really gonna see my fly line or whatever. And just a little teeny tiny indicator. And we're just gonna kind of fish these slightly deeper riffles and kind of just see what happens. Trying to keep my rod tip low. And yeah, we'll just see if there's any wild browns in here. All right, so just got my first fish. I'm slinging out this black woolly bugger. Looks like a pretty good sized fish for this stream. Pretty good. Might be like 12 inches, honestly. That's really good for this stream. Again, hit the black woolly bugger. See if we can get him over here. Hold on, bud, hold on. Oh, got him. All right, so let's get the hook at him. Yeah, that's a nice 11, 12 incher. So let's get the hook at him, take a look at him. All right, so for this stream, although this is a wonderful tailwater fishery, the fish, the wild browns don't tend to get that big. This is definitely a nicer one, probably 11, 12 inches. Let's take a look at him here quick. Wet my hands. Wet my hands. Hold on, bud, hold on, hold on. Get you out of here. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Really nice fish, really nice. Oh, hold on, bud, hold on, hold on. Get him right out of here. Hold on. Get him right out of here. Beautiful fish. That's a beaut. Get out of here. All right, so after that first pretty nice brown, at least nice for the Gunpowder River, no other activity. I will say it is a weekend, and although you can't see any fishermen now, it is quite crowded. This is a incredibly popular stream, relatively close to Baltimore, obviously close to South Central Pennsylvania. And yeah, very crowded. I'm definitely fishing runs and riffles that were fished earlier. Sticking with the large size black woolly bugger, just kind of throwing streamers hard through these nice sets of riffles. All right, so after nymphing for the last hour or so, I am starting to see just a few fish rise right over kind of in this corner area. So we're gonna cast out a little teeny tiny BWO and see what happens. Got a little teeny tiny browner, definitely on the small side. Let's see if we can get him over here. Probably only about 4 or 5 inches, nothing crazy. Hit the dry, which is wonderful. Not even gonna net him, he's on the small side. Let's take a look at this guy. Oh, yeah, just a little teeny tiny. Let's get this hook out of him. Get him right out of here. Hold on, bud, we'll get you out of here. See you later, bud. See you later. All right, so fast forward a couple of weeks. We are back at the Gunpowder River. We were here a number of weeks ago. We managed to catch 2 wild browns, one that was probably 10, 11, 12, pretty good on a black woolly bugger, and then a smaller wild brown on
some type of dry fly. I don't actually remember. Anyways, the water levels were pretty high when we were here last time. As you can see now, the water levels are significantly reduced. I think this is pretty much like the standard winter flow. So fishing is going to be a little bit more difficult with these lower water levels.
All right, so we got our first fish on the Prince Nymph. Got him. All right, so that's a teeny tiny wild brown, but that's great. We love seeing the different age classes. So let's get this hook out of him quick. Wet my hands. Hands are quite wet. Getting the hook out of him. Oh, real nice fish. Nice little guy. Let's get him right out of here. See you later, bud. See you later. All right, so we finally got a taker on the little BWO. It is a small wild brown, but we will certainly take it. Probably not even gonna net this guy. That's okay. Probably about 3-4 inches. Very small wild brown, but that's okay. So let's get him over here. Wet my hands. Hands are sopping wet, just absolutely wet. Hold on, bud. We'll get you out of here. Nice little wild brown. Let's get him out of here. See you later, bud. See you later. All right, so I just got a pretty decent fish, probably like 7-8 inches, nothing crazy, but better than some of the other ones we've seen. Let's see if we can get him over here in the net. Maybe only 5 or 6 inches. That's okay. We'll take it. We'll take it. Oh, got him. All right, yeah, probably about a 5-inch wild brown. Hit the Prince Nymph. So let's get the hook out of him. Take a look at him. That's great. Like I said, not a bad fish, probably about 5-6 inches. Let's take a look at this guy. Beautiful little fish. Beautiful little fish. Let's get him right out of here. Get out of here, bud. Get out of here. All right, so I don't know if you can hear it, but we got a beautiful little waterfall feature right over here on the right. I just came out to this kind of open, slower water and did see just a handful, not many. I'll be honest, not many. But a handful of fish rise. So you can see the sun poked out behind the clouds just a smidge. So I did tie on a BWO. I don't know if that's what they're going for, but that's what we're gonna try with. And we just had one, and what do you know, he popped off. That's pretty beat. Not what you want. We got a hit on the BWO, which is lovely, but again, the fish did pop off, and that is not, I repeat, not what you want. Quite unfortunate for me. Just me. No one else cares, but for me, it's not great, not great, not great. Oh, God, I just had another one. Son of a gun. God. Just got a decent little fish here on a dry. That's great. Don't know how big yet. Oh, it's not bad. Probably about 6-7 inches, maybe 5. Hit the BWO. That's great for me. That's great for me. Not bad. Yeah, it's probably about 6 or 7 inches if we can land him. He's putting up quite a fight for being a smaller wild brown. Hopefully we can land him. Be pretty lame if we didn't. And that's not what we tried to do here. Oh, that's not bad. Might be the second best fish here. All right, so yeah, that's a solid like 6-inch wild brown. So let's get the hook at him, take a look at him. All right, so the second best fish we've caught on the Gunpowder River outside of that 10 or 11 incher. This guy's probably only 6 or 7, but pretty solid fish. Let's get him right out of here. Hold on, bud, hold on. Yeah, dude, pretty solid fish. Not bad. Let's get him right out of here. Let's get him right out of here. See you later, bud. See you later. Oh, got one. Got one. Try to get him over here. Not bad, not bad. Probably about 5-6 inches. Hit the BWO. They're liking the BWO. Let's get him right over here. Not even gonna net him. Just gonna wet my hands, get him right out of here. All of these fish in the Gunpowder River, at least the brown, stream bred. This one is particularly good looking. This might be closer to like 7 inches. Ooh, beautiful fish. Let's take a look at this guy. Absolutely gorgeous fish. Gorgeous fish. Let's get him right out of here. Beautiful fish. Get out of here, bud. Get out of here. Woo. So as a brief detour from the big Gunpowder Falls River, we are now on a little tributary of the Gunpowder River here in northern Maryland. So we just hiked down probably about, I don't know, half a mile from a parking area. We're in this neat little gorge section surrounded by public lands. Never fished this stream before. As you can see, winter has definitely set in. Quite cold. I don't think we're gonna clean up, but if we could pick off just a couple trout, presumably wild browns, that would be wonderful. So let's get out here and see what happens. Just got a trout. Feels pretty good. Yeah, dude, that's not bad. That's like a 10-inch, 9-inch browner. See if we can get him over here. Hit the black woolly bugger. Beautiful. All right, so on this tributary to the Gunpowder River, deep winter, we're gonna keep this fish in the water as much as we can. Just got a nice wild brown on a black woolly bugger. So let's get the hook out of him, take a look at him. All right, so we just got a gorgeous wild brown nymphing black woolly bugger right in these nice riffles. Solid, probably 9-10 inch wild brown trout. Beaut. Let's get him right out of here. That's a gorgeous fish. Whew. Just got another wild brown. Little guy. Hit the black woolly bugger again. Let's get the hook out of him real quick. Not even gonna net this guy. Very small, keeping him in the water. Hook right out of him. Beautiful. Beaut. Let's get him right out of here. See you later, bud. See you later. caught another one. Another wild brown. Let's take a look at him. Whew, come here, bud. Come here, bud. All right. This one's a little bit bigger than the last one. Nothing crazy. Let's wet our hands. Hands are sopping wet, guys. So wet. Hold on. Nice, beautiful fish. Beautiful fish. Let's get him right out of here. See you later, bud. All right, so I think that's all we have from the Gunpowder River and one of its tributaries. So let's get out of here.
From all of us here at Trout Towns, and by all of us, I sadly just mean myself, we'd like to thank you for watching today's episode. If you have any other trout towns you'd like me to visit, please drop me a comment in the comment section of this video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and would like to see me visit other trout towns across this great country, please consider subscribing to the Traveling Trout Co channel to give my live meeting. Also, go ahead and tap that like button. Just give it a tap. Trout Towns, brought to you by Traveling Trout Co, a company that's not really a company in any meaningful or significant way. Stay trouty, folks.